What's up, guys? Toogie here, back again with some more NHL 17 and my Columbus Blue Jackets franchise mode, although, as you can see, it is soon to be my Quebec City Nordiques franchise mode as you get your first look at the new stadium. It is loosely based on the Videotron Center. It is also named that. No, I'm not going to attempt to say that with the French accent. I don't need to embarrass myself. But anyway, of course, as you get a look at the venue and the jerseys, let me say this, because I have had a lot of time on my hands with the internet issue. So I did go through the rosters. I changed a few overalls and potentials. Nothing major has been changed, particularly with Columbus. I think Nick Mutry was the only changed player. But because I started over, I did make some drastic changes to the AHL, but I talk about everything. Like I said, I also added some of the new contracts, Brad Marchand, Kyle Quincy, Dennis Seidenbergs, among others. But anyway, let's get down to business here, because we have a trade. And getting into our first bit of business, guys, and it's not exactly the trade you would expect. I know Tyler Toffoli won the poll over Brendan Gallagher for who we should acquire, but because we also elected to hold on to Boone Jenner, the asking price was way too high. I'm talking 2 first-round picks plus more for Toffoli and Brendan Gallagher. So we went with one of our backup plans, and I mentioned that I had a couple other players in mind. Sam Reinhart from Buffalo was one, but Elias Lindholm was the other, and that is who we targeted in this trade. We also picked him up, of course, in the Vancouver series, although he wasn't around for too long, so I don't feel like it's necessarily unfair to use a repeat player like this. We give up Matt Calvert, we give up Vinio, and we do give up a first-round pick 2 years from now for Lindholm and a handful of draft picks. And that brings us to what our roster looks like right now. Here is our roster for this season, our last season in Columbus. Our top line now, because we couldn't get to Foley, is going to be Saad with Boone Jenner and Cam Atkinson. We're going to have Jenner over Brendan Dubinsky. He is on the second line with Foligno and now Elias Lindholm. I may bump up Lindholm to that top line. Third line, William Karlsson. We'll see if he can get some decent progression. He is with Wenberg and Sam Gagner. And the fourth line for now is Hartnell, Campbell, and David Clarkson. So not the worst roster we've ever had. Certainly not the best. But these core 4 players, Saad, Jenner, Foligno, and Dubinsky, need to have big seasons. The defense, I mean, it's a great top 4. We'll see what they can do. We, of course, still have Nick Holden. We reacquired him. He is with Dalton Prout. And, of course, we know the goaltenders. But moving on here, and I think Korpisalo's potential went up. That wasn't my doing. Feel free to check back the last episode, but I didn't change him whatsoever. But I did change the AHL quite a bit. Now, because, of course, I had that opportunity to switch things over, I took advantage of it, and we signed some guys who, when you sorted it by people willing to take two-way deals, they didn't show up. But in the end, they would take two-way deals. We still kept Danny Heatley. He is now with Derek Roy and Alex Semin. So not the most realistic to have Alex Semin. But the second line is Sonny Milano, Jarrett Stoll, and Oliver Bjorkstrand. Nick Mutry, like I said, I bumped him up to low bottom 6. So not a massive improvement. I think I made him 4 overall points better. I really feel like they were unfair. He is with Kyle Chipchura and Josh Anderson. TJ Gagliardi, Max Lapierre, and David Moss round out the team. So needless to say, the Cleveland Monsters are in a great spot to potentially make a run at retaining their Calder Cup. The defense also has an improvement with Eric Greiba and Peter Harold. We also, again, signed Brad Stewart. So now that you've gotten a look at the team, I want to show you guys, because there has been a lot of movement, a lot of things to make this team the way it is. We have, right now, this is our current draft pick situation. Obviously, the last trade with Carolina helped. I just want to show you guys and give you guys a quick look at just how ridiculous the amount of movement has been. Before we get into the sim, we will look at the trades first. And I should say this too, trading block-wise. I didn't mention this. Originally, the plan was going to be having the likes of Hartnell and Clarkson and whoever else. I'm only putting Clarkson on the trading block. I want to keep Dubinsky. I want to keep Foligno. We're going to keep everyone else. If we decide to get rid of them, of course, we have the freedom to do whatever we want at the end of this episode, and I will or at the end of this first season, I should say. At the end of the first season, once we're in QC, I have the ability to do whatever I want, and I will certainly take advantage of that. Looking at these moves, though, same thing here. Aside from the Nick Holden trade, the rest of it's just prospects and picks, cycling all of that out. Of course, if you want to really just take a look at everything, slow down the video, move on frame by frame to take a look. Right there, though, the trade with Montreal is where I started to trade up. You see 3 7th-round picks for a 6th, and that's pretty much what I would do. Turn 7ths into 6th, 6th into 5ths, 5ths into 4ths, and I even picked up a couple 3rds, I do believe, as fifth is so great for the mic quality, but I couldn't help it. But yeah, overall, there you have it. Those are all the moves, a ridiculous amount of moves, and of course the signings, every player, mainly in Cleveland. There were a couple of signings as well. Chris Russell to Edmonton is the biggest signing, undoubtedly. And of course, we do have Max Faber as well. He'll be brought up as soon as we can. Basically, if David Clarkson is traded, that way we can actually have the space to call him up. And because I know some people like to see this, the captains down in Cleveland, it's Josh Anderson as the captain with Bjorkstrand and Harrington as the alternates. Most likely Rocco Grimaldi would have gotten a letter, but without him being released this time out due to some of the overall changes, it's unfortunate. But like I said, at the very least, we have Jack Dougherty, and we have a good team in Cleveland. So guys, after all of that, I think there's really nothing left to cover. We can get into the sim here. We will just do the first month. Although I could probably just, as far as this stuff goes, because we are in such a smaller market, I've just set like rock bottom prices on everything. And so far, so good. You know, you can see the sold last game on Upper Bowl tickets, 1,300. League average was just over 1,000. So that's pretty much the case for everything. I'm intrigued to see how that works. Like, you know, if like we were Montreal, the Bruins, the Blackhawks, obviously we could really jack up those prices. That's not what we're going to focus on doing. We want to get as many people to the stadium as possible. And speaking of the Bruins, that is, of course, who we face in the season opener. These are the owner goals. I am not too concerned with them because we can't be fired, which is a very nice feeling. And so far, so good in the preseason. We finish with a winning record no matter what. And it's a 4-2 record. Or 5-2 record, excuse me, in the preseason. Things are looking good here for the Blue Jackets as we move forward. Player morale, what is the deal? Seth Jones not liking the locker room. Let's see, will he react well to that? And okay. Well, see, at the very least, they have tuned up the player morale. I'm not sure how much I'll pay attention to it, but we will see what happens. Why is the owner extremely happy? Because I increased the parking lot. Okay, then. Well, that's all it takes. You know, pave a parking lot that, you know, probably at the end of this, they might turn the entire arena into a parking lot. I'm not too concerned with that moving forward. I still feel like I'm forgetting something, but I can't put my finger on it, so fuck it. Let's start the sim, and if I forget, or if I remember, I should say, then I'll be pretty upset with myself. We have the first 2 games of the season here. It will be Bobrovsky actually for the first 3 games, and we will put in Korpisalo against the Dallas Stars. So let's do this. They wanted us to win the home opener. That didn't happen, so good to know that we lost 3-1 to the Bruins. A promotion night against the San Jose Sharks. We get a 3-2 win. And it's just me, or does the sim go just a tiny bit slower? Let's just do 3 weeks for defensemen. I know most people say do Europe, you know, first. I'm not sure if it matters. Who knows? But let's see here. Can we escape against the Hawks here? And we cannot. That is a 4-3 shootout loss. A 3-game homestand to start the year. And we have a 1-1-1 record. And we are dead last in the Metro. Awesome. Not the best start for Bobrovsky here. Let's see. So far, top line's doing all right. Second line's doing all right. I mean, everyone's kind of chipping in. Fourth line's quiet. Clarkson has a point. Mission accomplished. David Clarkson has a point. So far, it is Sergei Bobrovsky that is struggling. Please don't get another coach fired. You did it last year. I want to see the Bobrovsky of old return here, mainly so I can start just using that one sound clip. You all know what it is as we lose 2-1 in Dallas. And that is not the ideal start to this season. Of course, in the next episode, I'm only simming to the end of this first month here. In the next episode, we'll be doing my normal sim ways, a month at a time or so. But Sergei Bobrovsky is back in goal. That's the sound clip, in case you didn't know. And you will be hearing that a lot unless Bobrovsky continues to suck and we get rid of him, which very well could be the case. He has these next two games. It is LA and San Jose. Korpisalo will get the last start of the episode against the Anaheim Ducks. We get a 5-2 win. Fuck the player morale. Screw it. I don't want to pay too much attention to it. We get back-to-back wins, a shootout win over the Sharks, and we now have a winning record. So that's nice. I would like to have a winning record at the end of the first bit of simming here. Fan happiness has dropped, which I don't know why. You're paying fucking pennies for everything we have to offer. You should be ecstatic, unless it's factoring in, the small little detail that we are moving their team. I suppose that they could have a little bit of a problem with that. I mean, I could see why. But, God, man, I cannot wait to play in QC. That arena is fantastic. Can't wait to use it. The Anaheim Ducks are 6-0-2, so we're going to get curb stomped here, right? We got a 2-1 overtime win. I will take that, and that will do it. We'll sim up to the first here against Dallas, but that'll do it for the opening month. October will come to an end. We have a 4-2-1 record, and the Cleveland Monsters so far with a 6-2 record. Things are looking good. Of course, it is just super early on in this season, but who knows what this team will be as we progress. And again, I keep feeling like I forgot to mention something. We mentioned Rocco Grimaldo. We mentioned the trading block. We mentioned the just abundance of signings. Speaking of signings, have there been any more? And there have. We have some prospects going here, there, and everywhere. So no major signings. A lot of those, decent free agents are staying there as well. A lot of free agents too. I removed every player who was under a PTO. So like James Wisniewski is a free agent. Stu Bickle, Mason Raymond, I think, was under a PTO. God, there was somebody else. There was another guy under a PTO, and I can't remember his name, and it's aggravating the hell out of me. Gabriel Bork and Rene Bork were two others. Mike Weber was another. You guys get the point. But obviously we have no cap space. We can't do a damn thing. So at this point, I have faith in the team, and we'll see where they stand. And hopefully, if we're winning games, we'll be able to make some moves at the trade deadline if need be. But rather than rambling on, I will end this episode here. Of course, as always, guys, if you have any suggestions, anything I forgot to mention, that I forgot to show, just anything. Of course, all forms of feedback, positive and negative, more than welcome. And yeah, guys, as always, if you have enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit that like button to help support the channel. Subscribe if you haven't already to continue following this series. And again, it is so good to be back. I didn't exactly get the opportunity to strike while the iron was hot, in the first 2 weeks of this game's release. But I'm here now. Franchise mode, of course, my bread and butter. And, again, might not have been able to strike while the iron's hot, but I'm here now. And we're going to have one hell of a ride here with the Blue Jackets, at least for the season. And then we become the Nordiques once again. But again, guys, thank you so much for watching. I say again, guys, so much. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you in the next one.